Have you ever wondered what the meaning of life is? This question is as old as human existence itself. For centuries, great philosophers, from ancient times to the present day, have tried to answer this question in different ways. The search for meaning and purpose is not just a philosophical or academic curiosity, it is something that deeply affects all of us. Every day, many people, consciously or unconsciously, seek an answer to this question. They seek meaning in their work, relationships, and personal journeys. But how can we, ordinary people, find a purpose in such a complex world, full of distractions and demands? This is what we will explore in this video. Today, we will delve into the wisdom of three great thinkers, Plato, Aristotle, and St. Thomas Aquinas. Although separated by centuries, these three philosophers have left a legacy of profound reflections that help us understand our existence. What unites them is the search for something beyond the material world, a deeper meaning that transcends immediate experiences and seeks to understand the true essence of being. Plato, one of the founders of Western philosophy, believed that true knowledge and the meaning of life could only be found in the realm of ideas. For him, the world we live in is just a shadow of a greater reality, a world of perfect forms that can only be reached through reason. In his famous allegory of the cave, Plato explains that most people live chained to the shadows of reality, mistaking illusions for truth. Only those who have the courage to break free from these chains and seek knowledge can find the true meaning of life. This allegory continues to be a powerful metaphor for our times, in which we are often trapped by appearances and distractions, but Plato invites us to go beyond and seek a higher purpose. After Plato, we find Aristotle, a student who decided to follow a different path. While Plato looked towards the metaphysical world, Aristotle focused on the natural world. For him, the meaning of life is found in practical virtue, in the balance between extremes. Aristotle taught that to live a good life, we must develop virtues, such as wisdom, courage, and justice, and use them to fulfill our purpose as human beings. For him, happiness, or eudaimonia, is not a fleeting emotion but a state of fulfillment, achieved through reason and a virtuous life. Aristotle teaches us that the meaning of life is not found in isolation from the world but in our actions and interactions with others. Finally, we come to St. Thomas Aquinas, who synthesized the ideas of Plato and Aristotle with Christian thought. For Aquinas, the meaning of life can only be fully understood in relation to God. He believed that our earthly life is a journey towards union with the divine, and that everything we do in this world should be guided by our ultimate purpose, to return to the source of all things. Aquinas emphasizes that faith and reason are not in conflict but complementary. Reason allows us to understand the world and our role in it, while faith guides us towards the ultimate truth, which transcends mere human understanding. As we follow this path of thought, we realize that these philosophers offer us not only intellectual answers but practical insights that we can apply in our daily lives. Each of them, in their own way, invites us to live with greater awareness and responsibility, seeking something greater than ourselves. At this point, you may be asking, how does all this relate to my life? The truth is that, even today, in a world dominated by technology and information, we are still searching for meaning. Many people feel an inner emptiness, even when they achieve success in their careers or personal lives. They lack a sense of purpose, a deeper understanding of why they are here. And it is precisely in this search that philosophy can be a powerful tool. It allows us to reflect on our values, our priorities, and the path we are following. Imagine, for a moment, that your life is a great journey. You are walking on a road that stretches out before you, full of challenges, joys, and lessons. But what is the destination? Where are you going? Plato, Aristotle, and St. Thomas Aquinas invite us to think about this destination, not as a fixed point, but as a continuous process of growth, learning, and transformation. The meaning of life is not something you find at the end of the journey but in the very act of walking, in the choices you make along the way. Now, let's take a closer look at each of these philosophers' ideas and how they can help us navigate this journey called life. Plato, with his allegory of the cave, offers us a metaphor to understand the difference between illusion and truth. He reminds us that many of the things we value in our daily lives are just shadows, reflections of something deeper and more real. The pursuit of knowledge and wisdom is the key to freeing ourselves from these illusions. When we seek the truth, we begin to see the world in a new way, understanding that material possessions, superficial relationships, and momentary pleasures are not enough to give our lives real meaning. Aristotle, in turn, invites us to look at the world around us and ourselves. While Plato believed in a world beyond the material, Aristotle teaches that meaning can be found here, in the tangible, in the choices we make and the virtues we cultivate. His philosophy is about balance, about finding the middle ground between extremes. He teaches us that to live a meaningful life, we must cultivate virtues such as wisdom, courage, and justice. These virtues are not innate, they are developed through practice and effort. Aristotle's idea of happiness, or eudaimonia, is not about fleeting pleasure, but about a life of fulfillment, a life lived according to reason and virtue. It's about being the best version of yourself and contributing positively to the world. Imagine, for a moment, that you are faced with an important decision in your life. Perhaps it's about changing careers, ending a relationship, or taking on a new challenge. In moments like these, Aristotle would remind you to think about what the virtuous choice would be. What action will bring balance? What will lead to long-term fulfillment rather than immediate satisfaction? This is the essence of Aristotle's philosophy, the search for a virtuous life, a life in which we make choices that align with our purpose as rational beings. And when we live this way, we naturally find meaning and happiness. St. Thomas Aquinas brings yet another perspective, one that unites faith and reason. For Aquinas, the meaning of life is not only about the development of virtues or the pursuit of knowledge, but also about our relationship with the divine. He believed that our ultimate purpose is union with God, and everything we do in this life should guide us toward that end. However, Aquinas emphasized that reason and faith are not opposites, but complementary. We use reason to understand the world, our role in it, and to navigate our day-to-day challenges. But faith is what takes us beyond the limits of human understanding. It guides us toward ultimate truth and gives us a higher purpose. Let's return to the image of life as a journey. Aquinas would say that our journey is not just about personal growth or the pursuit of happiness, but about reconnecting with the divine source of all things. Every decision, every action, every relationship is an opportunity to move closer to that goal. He reminds us that, while the material world is important, it is not the ultimate reality. There is something beyond, something greater, and it is toward that something that we should aim. Now, let's bring all of this together. What do Plato, Aristotle, and Aquinas have in common? They all teach us that the meaning of life is not found in fleeting pleasures, in material possessions, or in superficial success. It is found in the pursuit of something greater, something that transcends the immediate and the obvious. For Plato, it's the search for truth beyond the shadows. For Aristotle, it's the cultivation of virtues and the pursuit of a fulfilled, balanced life. For Aquinas, it's the journey toward God, using both reason and faith as our guides. In today's world, we are bombarded with distractions. We live in a society that values speed, efficiency, and superficial success. It's easy to get lost in this whirlwind and forget to ask the deeper questions. Why am I here? What is my purpose? What gives my life meaning? But when we take a step back and reflect on the teachings of these great philosophers, we realize that the search for meaning is not just an intellectual exercise. It is a practical necessity for living a fulfilled life. Perhaps you've felt a certain emptiness lately, a sense that something is missing, even if things seem to be going well on the surface. Maybe you've achieved career success, financial stability, or personal milestones, but there's still a lingering question: what's the point of it all? This is where philosophy can be an incredible tool. It allows us to reconnect with our deeper purpose, to understand that life is more than just a series of tasks, goals, and achievements. It's about growth, learning, and transformation. Plato, Aristotle, and Aquinas remind us that life is a journey, and the meaning of that journey is not something we find at the end, but something we discover along the way. Every day, we have the opportunity to reflect on our actions, to seek truth, to cultivate virtues, and to strengthen our relationship with the divine. It's a continuous process, one that requires effort, commitment, and self-awareness. So, how can we apply these teachings to our daily lives? First, like Plato, we need to be aware of the shadows around us. What illusions are we holding on to? What distractions are keeping us from seeing the bigger picture? Once we recognize these shadows, we can begin to seek truth, to look beyond the surface and strive for a deeper understanding of ourselves and the world. Second, like Aristotle, we can focus on developing virtues. This means practicing wisdom, courage, and justice in our everyday actions. It's about finding balance in our decisions and striving for long-term fulfillment rather than short-term gratification. Whether it's in our relationships, our careers, or our personal growth, the key is to live a life of virtue and purpose. Finally, like St. Thomas Aquinas, we can nurture both reason and faith. In a world that often prioritizes one over the other, Aquinas shows us that they are not in conflict, but rather two sides of the same coin. We can use reason to navigate our practical challenges and faith to guide us toward a higher purpose. This balance allows us to live a life that is not only meaningful in the here and now, but also connected to something eternal. The search for the meaning of life is eternal. It's a question that has been asked for centuries and will continue to be asked for centuries to come. But as we've seen through the teachings of Plato, Aristotle, and Aquinas, the answer is not found in a single moment or achievement. It's found in the journey itself, in the choices we make, the virtues we cultivate, and the relationships we build with the world around us and with the divine. As you move forward in your own life, remember that the meaning of life is not something you stumble upon one day. It's something you create every day, through your actions, your reflections, and your connection to something greater than yourself. And in this search, you are never alone. The wisdom of these great philosophers is always available to guide you, as long as you are willing to listen and apply their teachings. Thank you for watching this video. If you found this content valuable, make sure to subscribe to the channel and like the video. By joining our community, you will have access to more content that will help you grow and prosper in different areas of your life. Together, we can continue this journey towards self-knowledge and fulfillment. And don't forget to share this video with those who are also searching for meaning. We all have the potential to live a life of purpose, and it's by sharing this knowledge that we help each other on the journey.